I spent 20 years building a career in semiconductors and nuclear power, high-stakes environments, demanding work, good money, and somewhere along the way, I stopped asking whether any of it was actually mine. The goals I was chasing, the metrics I was optimizing, the version of success I was grinding toward. I never sat down and chose them. I just absorbed them. From industries, from expectations, from what ambitious people were supposed to want. It took a spine that's falling apart and a surgery I can't get scheduled fast enough to realize I'd been living by someone else's values and calling it my own life. When you're good at climbing a ladder, you don't stop to ask whether it's leaning against the right wall. And that something else doesn't care whether you end up happy. It doesn't care whether you're healthy. It doesn't care whether you look back at 60 and feel like the years meant something. For me, that something else was the defense industry. Then the semiconductor industry. Environments where success meant more hours, more pressure, more willingness to sacrifice everything that wasn't work. I was good at it. That's the trap. I collected credentials, clearances, titles. I made myself indispensable, which really meant I made myself unable to leave. And the values I absorbed along the way, they weren't written down anywhere. They were just assumed. Work comes first. Rest is for people who aren't serious. Your body is a machine that should perform on command. Asking for help is weakness. Slowing down is falling behind. I didn't choose those values. I inherited them. And I paid for them with a spine that's now held together with hardware from 2 prior surgeries, with a third one coming that I've had to fight for. That's what outsourced values cost. You don't notice the price until the bill comes due. There's a moment, if you're lucky, where the whole thing cracks open. For me, it was realizing I couldn't walk without pain, couldn't sleep without medication, couldn't sit through a meeting without my legs going numb. And in that moment, all the values I'd been living by became obviously absurd. What did the title matter if I couldn't pick up my future kids without nerve damage? What did the salary matter if I was spending it on pain management? What did success mean if I'd ground myself down to get there? The Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the deliberate contemplation of worst-case scenarios. Not to be morbid, but to be clear, to strip away the bullshit and see what actually matters. I got that clarity involuntarily. My body forced the meditation my mind had been avoiding for 20 years. And what I found was this. Almost none of the values I'd been living by were actually mine. The ones that were mine, integrity, building things that matter, treating people well, being present for the people I love, those had been squeezed into the margins. Afterthoughts. Things I'd get to when I had more time, except time isn't guaranteed. That's the other thing the Stoics knew. So what do you do when you realize you've been living by borrowed values? You rebuild, deliberately. The Stoics gave us a framework. 4 cardinal virtues. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Not commandments. Tools. Lenses for every decision. But I've found you need something more personal too. You need to write down in plain language what you actually stand for. Not aspirations, not goals, principles. Here are some of mine now. I will not sacrifice my health for work again. 20 years taught me that no job is worth a body that doesn't function. I ignored the warning signs for years. I won't do that again. I will build things that let me be present. That's why I'm launching a bookkeeping business I can run in 20 hours a week, not chasing another demanding role in an industry that wants all of you. I will not pretend to believe things I don't. That one cost me some relationships and probably some opportunities. Worth it. I will treat employees like humans if I ever have them. I've seen the other way. I won't do it. These aren't impressive values. They won't go viral. They're just mine. And when pressure hits, when an opportunity comes along that pays well but requires me to abandon one of these, I have an answer ready. The answer is no. That's what principles are for. Not for the easy days. For the hard ones. I'm building a content business now around Stoic philosophy, which is ironic because I came to Stoicism the way most people do, through pain. But here's what I've learned. You don't have to wait for your spine to fall apart to ask these questions. You can do the work now, voluntarily. Sit down. Turn off the noise. Ask yourself, if I stripped away every expectation that came from someone else, every should from my parents, my industry, my social media feed, what would I actually stand for? Write it down. 3 to 5 things, non-negotiables. Then look at how you're actually spending your time, your money, your energy. Do they match? If they don't, you're living by outsourced values. And that's okay. Most people are. But you don't have to keep doing it. The Stoics believed that the goal of philosophy wasn't to be smart. It was to live well. And you can't live well by accident. You can't live well by algorithm. You can only live well by deciding what well means to you, and then having the courage to build your life around it. No one else can do that for you, and that's exactly the point.